I think few people have hated the government as much as I have. You know, a lot of people dislike politicians and hate politicians, but say that it's the necessary evil. You know, and I hated it so much over the years, and you know, living in different societies, living under governance. I hated it. I hated it. But I put up with it. I tried to blend in. And it got me so fed up watching other people being turned into zombies. That's what it felt like. You know? The way I saw it is the system jeopardised my chance of happiness. It made an unfair playing ground. I'd say to people, oh, that's not fair. And they'd say, well, life's not fair. And I'd think, well, hang on. Life should be fair, if anything. Otherwise, what else is life for? If you'd have told me as a child that life is about competition, it's not supposed to be fair, okay, then the odds are in my favour. And I thought it was all about getting along together. I always thought it was about having fun together, laughing together. I thought the serious bits were just the pursuit of happiness, but we would get there one day. And that happiness wouldn't just be a carrot on a stick that we would follow and follow and follow and never reach. Because there's that stick. And that's the illusion the whole time. And I realised I'd built up a lot of fear of the system. Everybody else is scared stiff of the system, of the legal system, of the governance, of the church, of the school, of the authority. People are scared of it. They act in fear. So we don't make sensible judgments anymore. They're based on fear. Oh, the government might catch me. I hated government. More than most. You know, a lot of people, oh yeah, I hate government. But no, not like I did. Enough to just remove myself from all of that. Only then to realise that people won't listen. People don't listen to themselves. You know. So by the time you get to the government, by the time you go and say, take me to your leader, who thinks they're running this country? I want to talk to them. Where's this person of authority? You know, where's the highest authority that's accountable or can give me an answer about why this society, why this system is so sick and why it has created such an environment that makes us sick? Why? Who? Who is it? Take me to your leader. You find out there is no leader. They're just a bunch of puppets. You follow the strings and they just go off into legislation. Strings of legislation, rules, laws, bylaws, statutes, acts, treaties, contracts, agreements, scriptures, you know, divine law, king's law, heraldry, families. The structure's like a big pyramid. People just go shopping and consuming and then shout at the government and demonstrate about their rights that they think they've got. Not that anybody deserves any rights from any other man or woman. You know, so there's no point in looking at me for rights. You know, you can look at the system all you like, but it's a paper construction, ink and paper. It'll soon be electronic, but it's still basically logos and symbols that control people. You know, somebody sets their little alarm clock at that number, gets up at that, you know, goes to this address of that number, does this and that to get a piece of paper that's got that number on it so they can consume this at that value. I know it's about equity, but at some point we lose the sight of the actual material world and just start counting numbers. And people wonder why I'm speaking. People wonder why I'm like, talking about it, because I'm sick of it. I am fucking sick of watching all of this shit counting system. This statist, like, you know, you've got to put on a mask to walk around. Now, don't get me wrong, I think, you know, we should treat each other with dignity. But a lot of this time in what they called civilized, being a civilized human being, is that then like, you know, picking on people who've got less in society? Is racism okay? Is it civilized to be racist? You know, is it civilized to be to go against the system? You know, it seems like anybody who goes against the system, anybody who challenges the legal system, is up for ridicule by the rest. Well, when you follow these puppet strings, everybody's working as a puppet to this. To anybody who uses the language, those strings are connected to every word we use. We're using this communication thing, which goes through a language. It's a system, and then back into your head. So my words go through their system back into your system. So there's always a medium involved, be it language, be it video, be it signs, but when we're talking about communication, there's a manipulation going on there, and it's not anyone's to blame, it's something we've inherited. Maybe this stupid game has just been forgotten, and everybody's so into the paperwork because it fulfills the pyramid. The rich keep rich, the poor keep poor, so the rich keep following their little, like, monopoly rules. They bought Mayfair, they bought Pall Mall. So the game it doesn't actually take a mastermind to rig the game. It's just the one who gets Pall Mall first who's going to be up there, treating everybody else the way they do, So, but there's got to be a way of power, hasn't there? There's got to be an access for power. There's got to be some way of bringing the system down, because if there isn't, then I'm at war with it. Can I declare war on a system? Can I run into that council place, shouting and very angry and saying, if you don't stop now, we're going to, tear this building down? Can we destroy government? Can we, get all these politicians and tie them up round a tree, like in the Wild West, and tickle them with a feather? I don't know what to do. What do you expect to do with all of these politicians and all of this hatred? I don't know. I've got loads of it. But in the meantime, all I can do is read and study and try and understand everybody. Try and understand you and you and you and you and you and you and all the politicians and all of those rich people who don't seem to care, and all of those poor people who don't seem to have any hope. There's so many people who have chances and don't use them. But there's so many people with, really rich families who've got no chances because they've been followed everywhere. So I'm sure we've all got vices and we've all got a difficult situation. This is it's not my confusion, it's just a point of reasoning where I think to myself, what is the winning move? Each move, what is each winning move? And it's not hatred. It might be passion, it might be shouting, just as if you like shouting, the driver doesn't fall asleep. But the core of it is reason, wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, that all put together, but in harmony. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be no proof on the outside world. It has to be in our hearts, and we can't presume everything to be evil. Otherwise, it's like an animal that would just run out of these woods now and attack me because it presumed I was a predator to it. There's no reason for it to be scared of me. But if I'm on a silent, sinister approach, trying to sneak round life like we all do, then maybe we're putting across the wrong impression. So I'm thinking to myself, the winning move is just to be bold and loving and straight up. No one can reject that, can they? To go to civil servants, to go to public servants. We're not there to serve me, but to serve us all, the public. We should all serve each other anyway, by default. But to make sure the job's done, pay some. But we have to build bridges with these people, even if we disagree with the policies or the government or everything. We have to talk to people. And I don't care who people are. You're all brothers and sisters. I don't care whether you're a politician, a policeman, a doctor, a nurse, a dealer, an artist, anything what you are. You were my brothers and sisters. And I wish you'd get a good job and I wish you'd have the right job, but you're probably just, trapped in that situation. We all are trapped in the situations that we're trapped in. But sometimes it doesn't give us excuse to do the wrong thing. And before I start declaring war, like I say, I have to try the last attempt at going to the people who may have a little bit of power, asking them, okay, who else has got power above you that I could talk to about making changes? On my own behalf, for my people. Maybe I'd like to improve the children's playground or this, that or the other. Maybe it's small things in your own local region, but to actually to try and find people and ask questions. Get other people thinking about it, even though you might know the answers. A question is a far better thing to ask other people. So rather than going around trying to wake other people up to some reality that's only half and not really that useful, it's better off asking people the right types of questions. Like, what does it mean to have an identity? What is a personal identity? What is the legal fiction? What is the legal system? What? Just questions. Whatever questions. I don't know. But that's the sort of things I do. I ask questions, and I listen very carefully to the reactions, because there's nothing in that moment to be proved. If I get that other person to agree with me that, this country is just an evil corporation. Oh, did you know that this company is an evil corporation? Well, what are you implying? That a corporation is some sort of like corrupt financial institute? No, corporation is just a word, We've been led a little bit astray by some of these like gurus, maybe, these law gurus, to think that the word corporation implies something evil by default. These things are just containers. What am I trying to say? Maybe we should just forget all of the call the search off and just go out into the places of buildings of authority and just ring on that bell, knock on that desk, say, excuse me, I've got a few questions, have we got a moment? Or somebody else who can answer these questions, and then go for it. But I mean, I don't really need to tell you a lot of things. I don't have to discuss a lot of things with you, the viewer, because I mean, we know it all, don't we? We've talked about this a million times. I don't even have to caveat myself, because you know what I'm saying on a lot of things. When I say government corruption, you don't say, oh, what government corruption? We've been hearing this stuff since years. So it's no new news to anybody that there's corruption in government. But I would say that, the majority of people would say that, government's got running. It's politicians lie. There's a lot of stupid laws, but somehow it's working. And that's why I say that, the idea about just going against it is kind of a bit fruitless on its own. We need to then take that, why are we going against it, go into the offices and say, look, people are really against government. People really don't like civil servants, and I know you're a civil servant, and I know you're just doing your job like everybody else, and I know you probably, like, there's good sides and bad sides to the job. And I want to know, what can I do to make your life better as a civil servant? How can I serve the public without serving you? And I don't mean just sweeping up streets this time. I mean, like, actually working with community, getting some of your political power on my side or our side, so we can make things happen if we put enough time and thought and effort into it. About talking to the people in the administration and saying, can you work for me, the public, and I work for then the public, and I tell you an idea and you make it happen because it's a damn good idea and none of you can actually refuse it, and any other idea that comes along isn't going to be as good as that idea, because I've sat down with a million other people, and that idea is just, you know, am I naive for thinking that we could have a go at talking to people? I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, I've tried this, I've tried sending affidavits and that, but none of it's proof to me, because I've never proved that people reject me. You know, I've always seemed to, to be able to talk to people. I don't know. I think sometimes we just make this presumption that they, the Matrix, are, you know, are evil. You know, if we just drop that and just say, look, you know, go into the offices and say, look, you know, we all think you're evil, but it's not true. It's just somewhat we've seen on TV. I don't know. Just get into dialogue with the people you wouldn't really want to talk to, maybe. You know, the other classes. No, I'll leave it there. See you later. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.